and we got to get this taken care of. We don't know what we owe you for. Services rendered. That's what he tells them. Services rendered. The information's right there in front of you. Just cut the check. But we need to know what it was for. Services rendered. It's private. Talk to your CFO.
Put it in writing.
It was a private contract with your CFO. Talk to your CFO. Do you talk to your CFO?
No.
And the CFO knows.
Oh yeah, the CFO
knows all
knows.
this.
So why not send the CFO an acceptance for value?
Well, that's where some people are sending these things to. That's what somebody asked me earlier. Do you send it to the CFO? And I said, if you have his name and you want to send it to him, send it to him.
And you
I
have
even
the envelope private confidential.
I don't know about private confidential, but I know that on the letter, I put together a letter for Harry here, sending it to a CFO of Equifax, right? And I went in to their website and I got the bastard's picture. And where it says "to" on the letter, I put his picture on it. Hell yeah, I want him to get it, you know? This little 1-inch high picture of his smiling face on it. And I thought, you know, maybe we'll put the same thing on the envelope just to make sure it gets to the end. You know? I don't know about private and confidential.
That'll get there too.
Yeah, it will. Put his picture on it. So anyhow, on the modification, in this book that I discovered, actually it was a friend of mine up in San Francisco discovered it. She went into the county recorder's office because she was having difficulty getting her documents recorded, and she asked, is there a list of forms that you accept that I can look at? And they said, we can't give you legal forms. And right here by the window it says, we can't give you legal forms. And she says, okay, but do you have a book of legal forms? Yes, we have one, but we can't show it to you. And she says, okay, can you give me the ISBN number for it? And they said, we could do better than that. We can give you an order form. The book is produced by the California County Recorders Association. It's a private club
Of course.
that all of the county recorders belong to. The California County Recorders Association publishes the California County Recorders Handbook.
It's a forced union.
I could probably Skype it to you and you can give it to them.
Yeah, I have it.
Oh yeah, I mean I've got it.
My friend bought it and I got it, scanned it,
Scanned it.
put it in.
I have it too.
Yeah, it's $375 for this book.
Yeah.
See, so I know they don't want you reading this book.
Email address.
Yeah, it won't go by email. You have to Skype.
Oh, Skype.
53 megabytes. It's too big.
Yeah,
So there's the whole nationwide association.
Probably.
Of recorders.
There's I have since discovered that there's one in Georgia, there's one in Tennessee, and there's one in North Carolina.
Is there one in Arizona?
I don't know. I haven't discovered that
We're
yet.
gonna find out when we get there.
There is one in Arizona, but they don't appear to have a handbook.
You don't.
And what are we looking for in that handbook? What are we looking for in that handbook again?
All of your remedy in California is like the modification is in there. I mean, they don't want us reading this book, and I found out why. Because as I start looking through this book, I see revocation of power of attorney. I see modification of deed of trust. I see joint venture agreement. I see power of attorney. You know, there's all kinds of remedy. I see lease. Okay, there's all kinds of documents in there we can get recorded to do what we need to do. Okay, so I can start putting this together. Modification of deed of trust. Deed of trust says modify. Okay, so what are we going to modify? Well, once again, we're going to go back in time. I made a mistake. That's what this is all personal responsibility. First thing you do is apologize. I'm sorry I made a mistake. That's the first thing you got to do in your heart is acknowledge your responsibility in this matter. Right. And then, since you realize your responsibility in this matter, what was your mistake? Your mistake was you apparently gave confusing instructions to the servants. So what we're going to do is we're going to clarify those instructions for them.
Clarify the instructions.
That's right. And we're going to do it by modification, by way of modification of deed of trust. And on that website, she's got all the documents sitting there. You can find the documents for it. There's a notice of intention to modify deed of trust, and there's a modification of deed of trust that gets recorded. It's a proposed modification of deed of trust for them to object to or agree to.
Or edit.
Or edit,
Yeah.
and send back, and then you'll record it later on. That's on. It's on my website. It's a website.
For frivolous filings often, not, or you're on the system and they don't bother you. You get pushback on these at all?
Not me, because I don't do
Okay,
this.
or correct. The people who've had, you know, you getting much
The ones
pushback?
that have been typed, we've been getting hammered on here. Yeah, I told you about that one letter we got from the attorney saying, you know,
If it's
listen
tight.
to everything, and then, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
Catherine got a letter too saying from the attorney, what do you want me to do with these instruments? I don't know what to do. Please clarify.
Say, get your supervisor on the phone.
Yeah. Can I speak to your division, your risk
Yeah.
management officer?
Can I speak to your risk management office?
Yeah.
If somebody tells you, I don't know what you're talking about, I've never seen you this before, you say, I believe you. Now, can you get your boss on the phone? Get somebody on here who's competent to handle this.
Senior partner on the line.
That's right. You're the boss, act like it.
Exactly.
You're the creditor, act like it.
How you do it.
Find
These
someone who can
gatekeepers
sweep
are going
it.
to try and knock you off your pedestal every single time because they do not want the slaves leaving the plantation. Okay?
And that's a fact.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
Put them on hold and go to the bathroom.
So when we go, the first thing we do with this modification is send a notice of intention to modify. And what do we send a proposed modification?
Send it to whom?
Notice of
Jerry.
intention. Yes.
We have the 28, 90, and 91. We keep it for now. Then we're gonna go and do the.
That's if they dishonor you down the road.
Okay.
A couple weeks from now, if they dishonor you, that's what we're talking about next.
So what we're gonna do next. So where do we send those forms? We keep it for the meantime. We're gonna keep those
What
forms.
forms?
There's 28, 90, 91.
The originals? Yeah, you hold on to them. You're the court.
Well, where? Okay.
You're the court.
Yeah, with the court.
You hold your evidence.
Okay.
You're the custodian of the record.
Yes, I understand, but you send those to all. Can you give us a list
1
of
week
who?
before.
Whoever touched it. Remember, first thing you're going to do is go back to a week after the foreclosure and send it to all those people. And then you're going to send, I mean, the closing.
escrow.
Then you're going to send copies to everybody else that's touched it since then.
That's it's the 28, 90, and 91.
And the
you don't
notice.
send them the notification of deed
Not
of
yet.
trust. Okay.
This is
Got
for
it.
this is for enforcement later on
Got it.
if they dishonor you.
And can you also move them, Jerry, and say, and I'm directing you to follow the path to who's the last person that may be involved in this, telling them since you
If you want
started
to.
it,
If you want
I
to.
don't have time. You figure out everybody and not limited to just you. Who else is involved?
You
in
can do
this.
that too, but my personal experience has been that as long as MERS is involved, you're okay.
Right.
It doesn't matter who else you send it to as long as MERS gets it.
Because that, but not limited to any overall affiliates.
Yeah, you can add whatever you want to it. Yeah. Make it
So
yours.
after 72 hours, this is what you do? There's the
Well, it depends on what time you have left.
Uh-huh.
If you have a couple of weeks, wait a couple of weeks.
Okay.
If you only have 72 hours, then only give them 72 hours. You can't give more than what you have, yes.
The notice of modification, you say send it to whom?
You're going to send it to the original people and everybody that's touched it.
Okay,
The same people you sent the
Same people.
9091
and then you
28
file that with the
Right.
county recorder.
We sent stuff off to First
to. After you
Magnus.
default them.
After we sent stuff to First Magnus, it was all returned undeliverable. Then we found out last week that they're in bankruptcy court.
But that's okay, you did your due diligence.
Yeah.
Even if you know they're not in business anymore, you still send the letter, make it return to you, make it come back to you.
It shows
And then
intent.
That
you
shows
have that
your
in your
intent.
file, yeah.
That shows your intent to try to
Okay.
give them notice. And then, like I said before, remember federal rules of civil procedure are how we prosecute all this. What did they say when you don't receive when they send it back? If it comes back unclaimed, when you send it out certified, then the next thing you do is send it regular mail with a certificate of mailing. And if it comes back marked return to sender, then you go to personal service or publication in the newspaper. If it does not come back marked return to sender, it's served.
Yeah.
We're back on the fiction again. It doesn't matter that they didn't get it. All that matters is if it doesn't come back marked return to sender, it's served. And if it does come back marked return to sender, then you just go down and you either have somebody do it personally or you publish it in a newspaper 1 day a week for 3 weeks.
Yep.
They're served.
The newspaper where we
Newspaper of
reside or
record. Newspaper of record where the
any
home is.
newspaper?
Newspaper of record where the home is.
In the county.
The newspaper
Gotcha.
of record.
Gotcha.
Yep.
You know those bonds that I mentioned to you?
Yeah.
You know, we'll go through, we'll register mail, return receipt, you know, nothing ever came back, so
Right.
obviously.
Can't hear you.
They're done, right?
What was the question?
He was asking about, he sent stuff out, registered mail, got the green cards back, but no response. So he just asked him, that's served, right? Yes, that's served, right?
The green card is your deposit slip.
Yeah, actually, when the federal rules of civil procedure also
Rules
tell
of
you,
evidence, yes.
no, the rules of procedure tell you that once you mail it, it's filed. So you don't even have to go to the court and get a file stamp. You mail it, it's filed.
So how do you show that it was mailed? It's just your word?
You have a
receipt.
Federal Rules of Civil Procedure say first thing you do is send it for the